Let's be real. Your office isn't just one place anymore. It's a coffee shop, it's an airport, it's your couch. So how on earth do you protect your company's data when the walls of the office have completely disappeared? The old security playbook, it's useless. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the modern gatekeeper for your digital world, Microsoft Entra Conditional Access.
I want you to picture your company's security for a second. For decades, we thought of it like a medieval castle, right? You have these high walls, a big moat, and one single heavily guarded gate. If you were inside, you were safe. But does that picture even make sense anymore?
The short answer is no. That old model is shattered. We're all working in a world that has no walls. The whole concept of a safe inside and a dangerous outside has been turned completely on its head.
The old castle and moat way of thinking was pretty straightforward. Security was your physical network. You're inside the walls, you're trusted. You're outside, you're not. But our new reality is work from anywhere. That perimeter has just dissolved. It's gone. Your people, their phones, their laptops, your apps, they're all over the place. The castle walls have crumbled to dust.
So, if the network isn't the perimeter anymore, what is? Well, the answer is identity. In today's security world, who you are is way more important than where you are. Your identity, your digital self, becomes the new control plane. It's the new anchor that makes sure only the right people get to the right stuff.
This whole identity-first approach is the foundation of a strategy you've probably heard a lot about, the zero trust model. And it is a huge shift in thinking. The old way was trust but verify. The new way, it's never trust, always verify. You start with the assumption that a breach isn't just possible, it's probably already happened. So you treat every single request for access like it's coming from a totally untrusted network. Zero trust really stands on three simple but super powerful principles. First, verify explicitly. That means you always authenticate and authorize using every piece of information you can get your hands on. Second, use least privileged access. You give people the absolute minimum access they need to do their job and only for as long as they need it. And third, assume breach. You plan for the worst by segmenting access and working from the idea that the bad guys might already be inside.
Okay, so zero trust is the strategy, the big idea. But how do you actually make it happen? How do you enforce these rules? Well, that's where a really powerful tool comes into play. It works kind of like the ultimate if-then statement for your security.
And that tool is Microsoft Entra Conditional Access. This is basically Microsoft's brain for zero trust. Its whole job is to pull together all those different signals, who you are, where you are, what device you're on, and use them to make a smart decision and enforce your company's policies all in real time. Now, don't let the official name intimidate you. Like the quote says, when you strip it all down, it's really just a bunch of simple if-then rules that you get to define.
Let's break that down. The if part is the trigger, it's the condition. For example, if a user tries to open a sensitive HR application, or if an administrator tries to log in, or maybe if a sign-in is coming from a country you've never seen before. Then they have to do something. That's the action, the enforcement. Then they must use multi-factor authentication. Then they have to be using a company-approved healthy device. Or, in some cases, then their access is flat out blocked. See? It's that simple logic, just applied to security. So let's pop the hood and take a look. How does conditional access actually figure all this out when someone tries to sign in? It all boils down to a really logical flow: signals, decisions, and enforcement. It's a simple three-step dance. First, the system gathers up all the information it can find. Those are the signals. Second, it checks those signals against the policies you wrote to make a decision. And third, it enforces that decision by applying a specific control. So what kind of signals are we talking about here? It's all about context. The system is basically playing detective. It looks at user or group membership. Is this person an admin or a regular user? It checks their IP location. Are they in the office or on the other side of the world? It verifies the device's health. Is it up to date and compliant? It knows what app they're trying to get to. And, this is huge, it analyzes the sign-in risk in real time, looking for weird stuff like logging in from 2 countries at once.
So based on all those signals, the policy engine makes a call. It could be a hard block. Nope, you're not getting in. That's the toughest choice. Or it could grant access, but with some conditions. And this is where the real magic is. You can say, sure, you can get in if you use multi-factor authentication, or if you're on a compliant device. You can even force someone to change their password on the spot if something looks risky. It's incredibly powerful and flexible.
All right, enough theory. Let's make this real. Let's look at a simple, common, and honestly an absolutely essential policy that you can put into practice.
Take a look at this. We're going to build a policy right now. We'll call it Require MFA for Admins. Super clear. The if part, our condition, is simple. This rule applies to anyone who is in an administrative role. And the then part, our control, is just as easy. We'll grant them access, but they must complete multi-factor authentication first. That's it. In just a few clicks, you've massively boosted the security around your most powerful accounts.
And that really gets to the heart of it. Conditional access isn't about just blocking people or making their lives harder. It's about being smart. It's about applying the right level of security at exactly the right time. It lets you find that perfect balance between letting your team get their work done from anywhere and making sure your organization is truly protected.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know your new front door is digital and it's protected by identity, what if-then rules are you going to build to be its gatekeeper?